Hello everyone. I haven't taken time to talk about my schooling career, how I felt when I was studying, and my journey as a student starting from last year. I think I must take time to talk about it starting from 2018, and I think what I want to do is talk about what happened in 2018 alone, and then talk about what's happening right now alone. So I'm going to divide my experience so that now we talk about what happened when I started in 2015 and then left in 2018. And then we talk about what is going on now when I started in 2025, which is last year, and how is it going now. So this year I have a module that I am repeating this semester. It is called multivariate calculus. I have decided it is going to be the only module that I am studying, and then I will add 6 modules for second semester in order to complete next year and graduate September. Anyway, so I'm looking at let me just cover up. Well, I suppose there is no need to cover, right? But anyway, so I'm looking at my test results for my test 1 and test 2. This is the logo of my university. It is Walter Sisulu. It is a good university. You guys can go to Walter Sisulu if you wish. Walter Sisulu is a good university based in Umtata. You can study any course you wish to study. They have from higher certificates to degree studies. Of course, I am not a person who collaborates with my school to do videos promoting them. But I guess it is a part of my life because I am a student at my school. Having said that, these are my 2 tests for multivariate calculus last year. Let us talk about the first test. So this test is a test that is based on basics. You can see from the beginning of the first page, it starts out as a multiple choice and then it just proceeds forward. So you can see it's a multiple choice that is asking about domains. And like for example, the first question is if we're given f at x and y is equal to the root of y minus x squared, and you determine the domain of that. So we know that, for example, I'm just making an example of this question. So you know that in this question you want to put it equal to 0, and then you will then have your y equal to you'll then make y the subject of the formula because you want to know what is the relationship between y and x in this domain. So anyway, I got this question right, and you can see all of the questions that I got right here. And then we get to this question. There was a question that I didn't get right. So this question is a question I'm still going to work on this year also. I only got half marks for this question. And there's another one. I also got half marks for this one also. And this one, I got only just 2. I think it was out of 10. And I got 2 out of 10. And this question is epsilon delta. So the relationship of epsilon and the delta. So this is test 1, because this is the end of test 1. I did corrections. And so let us discuss it. For this test, I got 62%. Let's discuss the test. This test was a little bit, I found it very difficult, especially at the epsilon delta part. This part, I found it very difficult. So I think I'll need to review that a little bit more. I did do corrections. I did do corrections on this question. I need to review it a little bit more. I know that in the exam, these questions won't come out this way. So what happened was last year, as you can see in my first test, I got 62%. In my second test, I got 72%. So what happened is in the exam, given I was going in with 66%, I ended up not knowing how to tackle a few questions I'd never met before. So I think past papers is something we are going to be doing together. I'm gonna go with you through this journey, guys. I think it is important I do this. Last year I just went with it and I was like, I'm just gonna go with it and make sure that I put an effort into my work, and that's what I did. And at the exam I just flopped it. I flopped it. My semester mark was 66% and overall I was 49%. You can imagine the drop. If I could tell you the weighting between the exam and the tests, you can imagine that the drop is so big, which means in that exam I did very, very poorly. So I've discussed this first test with you guys. Let us talk about the second test. This test. This test, guys, this test. This test. Oh my goodness, this test. Every time I think about it, it's just, oh no, I just get a headache. I cannot deal with this test. So, this year, I am very scared. I don't want to go into my lecturer's office because this test last year just caused a havoc, chaos in that office. That makes me feel like I don't want to go in that office again this year. What happened? So I studied, and you guys can see, you can see the proofs. It is there. Left hand side, right hand side, it's okay. We are testing let me see if this is tests. Yes, these are tests. So I don't know if you know Lagrange's multipliers. So this test is based on Lagrange's. Most of it is just Lagrange's, and also testing. I've forgotten a little bit on what we're testing, but we get the saddle point. Sometimes when we've tested, we get the saddle point, or we get the critical point to get the saddle points. It seems to have just left my mind. I know, guys, I'm going to remember it this year because I'm gonna review this material and go back and know it. Guys, let me tell you. So this is Lagrange's. This side. Look at this. Now, I'm not gonna critique my lecturer, but can you see red, red, red all over my papers? Red, 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 red everywhere. It is all dirty. No, I will never tell you my lecturer's name. I will never. But guys, this test, I can see a 0 this side. And you see, he was giving me 0. He was just giving me less marks. My lecturer was just crossing everywhere in this test. This test, guys. Okay, this question, it was a 0. I got it wrong. But this test, guys, in this Lagrange's question, I was going to get a 10 out of 10 for it, which means I was going to walk away with a test where I've gotten 30 instead of 29, and I think it was out of 40. Guys, this test, and I ended up with 29. This didn't affect me so much. I got 66% as at the end of my average. But this test is a nightmare that makes me just so scared of going back to my lecturer's office, because I found myself, and my lecturer was just so angry because he was taking away 1 mark, and I said, why are you taking away 1 mark? And he just felt like I was being ungrateful for the marks he was giving me, as he felt as if the format I was writing in was not the right format. He was saying that it is better I write in just sequential order, and everything is just neat and sequentially, like following each other. Guys, yeah, but it didn't affect me so much. I mean, yes, it is good. Of course, it is not an excuse, because at the end of the semester I got 66% as at the end of it. Maybe if I got 50 something percent, I would say, oh, and then my lecturer, and then give it as an excuse. So there is no excuse in this. In my first test I got 62, in my second one I got 72, and this semester I am repeating this module. One thing that happens at my school is that if you are repeating the module, you can retain your marks from the previous year. You are only allowed to retain marks once, and I've never retained marks, especially in this module, before. So yeah, I guess that makes me a lucky person to be able to retain these marks. I don't know if I will want to retain, because I will be writing first test and second test again this semester, and so I can only just hope that first test and second test is gonna be good. It's gonna work well for me. I'm definitely gonna work for it, and study just as how I studied last year, and hope that my average is gonna be above 66%. Last year I got 66%, and then on top of that, just top it up with a good exam result. So that is all I can say about multivariate calculus. It is the only module I'm doing this semester. Can imagine just going to school to study one module. But yeah, that is all I can say about it. Can only just hope for the best. See you guys in the next video. I am hoping to share with you my experience and everything I'm doing this year, take you along into my journey this year. And so this is going to mix up with the crochet, and I hope now, with all of these additions, my year is not going to be so boring after all. Okay, guys, see you in the next video. Goodbye.